So you want to create a speech. You know your content, you know the message you want to get across, but you need a structure of how you're going to deliver your presentation so that it's effective and that it gets through to the audience. Hey, I'm Ryan McLean and I'm from Public Speaking Power, where we teach people like you how to become powerful public speakers. And today I'm giving you a public speaking outline example. What is a public speaking outline? A public speaking outline is basically a structure of your speech in basic form. So that might be bullet points of how you're going to progress through things. It could even be a mind map. It's up to you how you structure your speech, how your speech flows, but a public speaking outline should show you as the speaker exactly how your speech is meant to flow and give you cues as to how you can create your speech better. So the whole idea is that we create an outline before we create our speech, so we know, okay, I've got these 3 messages to get across. How am I going to get them across? I'm going to do an introduction, then I'm going to do my middle, and I'm going to do point 1, then point 2, point 3, then I'm going to do a conclusion. Okay, that's a very simple example of an outline. An outline exists to help you create a structure for your speech, so then you can then extrapolate that out and expand that out and create a full speech. An outline is also used when you've created your speech and you now want to contain that, make it smaller, and use it as a reference point when you're giving your presentation. So public speaking outline is a very effective tool that many professional speakers use to understand and know what they're going to deliver. When I'm delivering this right now, I have a very rough outline of my presentation just written on this piece of paper. And so I can look at that and say, okay, well, how are we going to do this? All right, so let's give an example of a public speaking outline. This is probably the most basic example that you will find anywhere on the internet. The example goes like this: introduction, body, conclusion. That's it. It's a 3-step example. It's a 3-step outline of a public speech. So with your introduction, which is what we start with, how do we set that up? What's the outline below introduction? Well, when we're looking at an introduction, we need to look at firstly what content we're trying to get across and how we're going to introduce that in a way that engages the audience. I did a video and a blog post on how we can do introductions so that we're not boring. Because one of the biggest mistakes people make is they get up in front of people and they say, "Hello, my name's Ryan McLean and I'm 25 years old. Like you give a beep." They say, "I'm 25 years old. I work in this company. I've worked in the industry for 8 years and I've done this and I've done that." And the people in the audience are actually falling asleep in their chairs. So we want to engage our audience and we want to get them to buy into our presentation and buy into us in that introduction. So there's 4 ways that I recommended you can do this. If you want to see more detail, head over to the blog and check out that article, links below. But you do it either with a quote, so you give a quote, you can ask a question, it can be rhetorical, or you can ask them to raise hands, or even ask someone to answer it for you. You can give a shocking factoid, a fact that they didn't know that makes them rethink the topic you're talking about, or you can start with a story. So introduction is very important. So think of some different ways that you can introduce your topic to make it exciting, to make it interesting, because the whole goal of the introduction is to get people excited to listen to the rest of your presentation. Then we go into the body of the presentation. Now you can structure the body in any way that you want. You can use, generally what we do is we have either 1 point, 3 points, 5 points. Once you go beyond 5 points, it starts getting very complicated. Most speakers avoid 2 and 4 points because apparently odd numbers are easier to remember. 3 points is easier to remember than 4 points. 5 points is easier to remember than 4 points as well. No idea why that is. I haven't looked into it, but that is what I have heard, and I tend to stick to it because I know with blog posts, if I have the 7 steps to success or the 7 steps to better public speaking, it's actually going to get more people to look at it than if I say the 6 steps. 6 steps to public speaking success or whatever. So with our body, we want our main messages that we need to get across. So let's say we've got our introduction, then we've got our body, and in our body, what we're going to have is 3 points. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3. And in your outline, you would list those 3 main messages, and then you would then make a note of a story that you want to tell, or a quote that you want to give, or a statistic or some reference that you want to provide to back up the point that you are presenting. So that is how you outline your body. And then your conclusion, you want to wrap up your conclusion, and in some way you want to bring it back to the messages that you're delivering, or if possible, the core message that you're delivering. And so you want to bring people back to that. The conclusion is probably the thing that they will remember the most, because you're remembering all this stuff, it's going in one ear out the other, and then the last thing you say, they're probably going to remember. So you want it to be your core idea and find an interesting way to do that. And then if possible and if required and appropriate, give a call to action. So that call to action could be go to the back and sign up, or it could be something as simple as think about X while you're doing Y. So we've got our outline. What is it? Introduction. How are we going to introduce it? Are we going to use a quote, a question, a factoid, or a story? We've got our body. How many points do we have, and what are we using to support those points? And we've got our conclusion. How are we going to wrap it up and give a call to action? So there you have a public speaking outline example that you can use, very simple, to help you create a public speech and then help you to reference that speech so you can remember it and present it with confidence. If you want more videos, audios, or podcasts just like this one, then head over to publicspeakingpower.com and you can get access to hundreds. Okay, there's less than 100 at the moment, but we're doing videos every single day. So not long, in a couple of months, we're going to have over 100. We're going to have hundreds of blog posts. So if you're listening to this delayed, then it is hundreds. But anyway, head over to publicspeakingpower.com. You're bound to find something that's going to help your fear, your anxiety, boost your confidence, or make you a better public speaker.